Want to speak real Spanish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SpanishPod101.com.
Hola, soy Brenda Romaniello, tu profesora de español. Hello, my name is Brenda Romaniello and I'm your Spanish teacher. Hoy vamos a ver los pronombres de interrogación. Today we're going to have a look at the WH questions in Spanish. So, we say and we call them WH questions in English because most of these questions will start with a WH in English, so the translation will be with a WH question. But that is certainly not the case, of course, in Spanish. So what they are called is actually pronombres de interrogación, and we use them to ask questions in Spanish. So let's put your knowledge to the test a little bit as well, and let's see if you know what these questions mean in Spanish. And then if you don't know, I'll teach you and then I'll give you some examples as well. Número 1. ¿Qué? 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 ¿Qué significa? It means what. Por ejemplo, ¿qué prefieres comer hoy? What do you prefer to eat today? Número 2. ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo? ¿Cuándo significa when, and we use it to talk about time. Por ejemplo, ¿cuándo vuelves de tus vacaciones? When are you coming back from your holidays? Número 3. ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde significa where, and we use it to talk about a location. Por ejemplo, ¿dónde vives? Where do you live? Número 4. ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo significa how? Por ejemplo, ¿cómo prefieres tu carne? How do you like your steak cooked? Número 5. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué significa why? Por ejemplo, ¿por qué estudias español? Why do you study Spanish? Número 6. ¿Cuál and cuáles? ¿Cuál and cuáles significa which? But hang on a second, we have two questions here. So, can you tell me what the difference between cuál and cuáles is? Do you know why we have two options for which in Spanish? The answer to this question is because it's going to depend on the number. So if we're talking about only one thing, we're going to say cuál. So cuál is for the singular, and cuáles will be the plural form when we talk about two or more things. Por ejemplo, ¿cuál es tu casa? Which one is your house? ¿Cuáles son tus documentos? Which are your documents? Número 7. ¿Quién and quiénes? So again, here we're going to have two options, and it means they mean in English who. So again, why do you think we have two options here, quién and quiénes? Exactly the same as cuál and cuáles. Quién is going to be used to refer to one person, and quiénes is the plural form, and we're going to use it for two people or more. Por ejemplo, ¿quién es tu mejor amigo? Who is your best friend? ¿Quiénes son tus hermanas? Who are your sisters? Número 8. And the last one. ¿Cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas? ¿Cuánto and cuántas significa how much? And we are going to use these two options with uncountable nouns, so things that we cannot count or measure. And also we have two options for how much, because cuánto is going to be used, we're going to match it with a masculino, sustantivo masculino. So we're going to match it with an uncountable noun that has to be masculino. And cuánta will be the femenino form. Por ejemplo, ¿cuánto dinero hay? How much money is there? So dinero es masculino, we have to say cuánto. ¿Cuánta azúcar quieres en el café? How much sugar would you like in your coffee? So azúcar es femenino y vamos a decir cuánta. So we're going to say cuánta for azúcar because it's femenino. Cuántos, cuántas significa how many, and we use these two options with countable nouns, so things that we can count. And again, we're going to differentiate cuántos for nouns that are masculino and cuántas for femenino. ¿Cuántos limones necesitas? How many lemons do you need? ¿Cuántas naranjas necesitas? How many oranges do you need? Muy bien, so that is the lesson for today. I really hope that you liked it and you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And I will be seeing you next class. Nos vemos la próxima clase. Adiós.
Hola, soy Romina Romagnolo, tu profesora de español. Hello, I'm Romina Romagnolo, your Spanish teacher. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the most important and frequently used verbs in Spanish, el verbo querer, the verb querer. When you start learning Spanish, you're going to notice that we use the verb querer all the time. And you might be wondering, what does querer mean? ¿Qué significa querer en español? What does it mean? Querer is often translated as like I like you or I want you, and then it can also mean like I want or I wish. So depending on what are you talking about, this verb is going to be translated into English as either I want or I wish. So let's start talking about wishes. I'll give you an example, un ejemplo. Yo quiero tener una casa grande. I want to have a big house. Please repeat. Perdón. Yo quiero tener una casa grande. Yo quiero tener una casa grande. Yo quiero tener una casa grande. So in this case, it's pretty obvious that I'm talking about wishes, okay? So in this case, you're going to be translating the verb quiero as I wish to have. Okay, let's now focus in the verb querer as in to want, okay? If you are at a cafe, you can order a café with the verb querer. Quiero un café, por favor. Quiero un café, por favor. Quiero un café, por favor. So here we are just saying, I would like or I want a coffee, please. Now that we know the meaning of the verb querer, let's focus on its conjugation. Please repeat after me. Por favor, repite después de mí. Yo quiero. Tú quieres. Usted quiere. Él quiere. Nosotros queremos. Vosotros queréis. Ustedes quieren. Ellos quieren. Yo quiero. Tú quieres. Usted quiere. Él quiere. Nosotros queremos. Vosotros queréis. Ustedes quieren. Ellos quieren. If you've been paying attention, you probably noticed that the infinitive form of the verb, which is querer, changes a little bit throughout the conjugation, okay? And if you notice that, congratulations, well spot. And the reason why this verb changes, it's because it's an irregular verb. Es un verbo irregular. The type of irregularity this verb has is located in the first section of the verb, which we call raíz, which means root or stem, right? So basically what happens is that the vowel e changes to ie, okay? E becomes ie, okay? In certain people making the actions, okay? So it will be yo quiero, tú quieres, él quiere, ustedes quieren, ellos quieren, okay? It's not correct to say yo quiero, you have to say yo quiero because it's an irregular verb. But it becomes a regular verb again when you're using nosotros or vosotros. More often than not, we are using the verb querer next to another verb, okay? As I was saying before, yo quiero tener. Tener is another verb. I'm saying in Spanish, I want to have. To have is an infinitive verb, is another verb as well. So basically what you have to do in Spanish is you need to conjugate the verb querer, okay? Yo quiero, tú quieres, as we were doing the conjugation before. And the verb that is located after querer, you just have to keep it as it is in the infinitive form. So, for example, it's not correct, yo quiero tengo. That's wrong, okay? What you have to say is, yo quiero tener, tú quieres tener, él quiere tener. So as you can see, querer is changing, it's being conjugated, while tener is remaining exactly the same across all these people. I'll give you a very useful example. Yo quiero hablar español perfectamente. Yo quiero hablar español perfectamente. Yo quiero hablar español perfectamente. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me in a new video. I hope that you enjoyed today's lesson. As usual, if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment down below. Also, take the comments as an opportunity for you to practice Spanish and maybe write a sentence with the verb querer and then another verb, okay? Just a full sentence in Spanish. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much for watching today's video y nos vemos en la próxima clase. And I will see you in our next class. Adiós!
Hi guys, I'm Courtney, and today I'm here in Teotihuacan, which is about an hour's drive from Mexico City. As you might know, Mexico is very well known for having various pyramids, ancient temples, and ruins all throughout the country. Today, we're here to explore one of the biggest pyramids in the world. Let's go check it out.
Located about 50 kilometers northeast of modern-day Mexico City, Teotihuacan was one of the largest urban centers in the ancient world, and to this day, no one knows who built it. The Aztecs arrived on the Mexican Central Plateau during the first half of the 14th century. As they were coming from the north, they discovered the abandoned ruins of this city. They connected it to their own beliefs and gave it the name Teotihuacan, meaning birthplace of the gods.
Right now, we're walking through La Calzada de los Muertos, which is Spanish for Avenue of the Dead, and it was the main road for this ancient city.
This massive central road is roughly 40 meters wide and runs for more than 4 kilometers. It's surrounded by impressive ceremonial architecture, as well as platforms that the Aztecs believed to be tombs, therefore inspiring the name Calzada de los Muertos.
Throughout this entire avenue, you'll come across a series of steps that are both high and steep. It's pretty difficult and challenging, so I would recommend bringing comfortable walking shoes and clothing. So through all these up and down stairs, I think I found a shortcut and I'm gonna take it.
Mexican folklore says the Pyramid of the Moon and the Pyramid of the Sun were built in honor to the birth of the sun and moon gods. To honor the gods, priests were said to perform daily ceremonies at the pyramids.
After a bit of walking, we arrived to this intersection where both temples connect through the Avenue of the Dead. Behind me, you'll see the Pyramid of the Sun, and to my right, the Pyramid of the Moon. Right now, we're gonna try to make it to the top of the Pyramid of the Sun. So let's go.
Less than half a mile south of the Pyramid of the Moon is the Pyramid of the Sun. It has a height more than 63 meters and a base more than 225 meters long on each side, making it the third largest pyramid in the world.
The Pyramid of the Sun has 248 total steps. Not only that, but they're also extremely tall and extremely steep, so it's very dangerous. But we finally made it.
Its elevated platforms were likely used for rituals. Tombs found associated with the structure contained both human and animal sacrifices, along with grave goods such as obsidian and greenstone. The location of the pyramid and its design are thought to represent the three levels of their cosmos: celestial, terrestrial, and subterranean. Throughout the main intersection on the Avenue of the Dead, you'll find many people selling you a series of different creative Aztec pieces such as carvings, sculptures, and jewelry. As you're leaving, you can also find a broader selection of more souvenirs and crafts related to Teotihuacan.
So that's it for today, guys. This was Teotihuacan, and I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Hello guys, how are you today? Hoy tenemos una clase sobre exclamaciones en español. Today we're gonna cover exclamations in Spanish. This is a pretty cool lesson because we are very expressive in Spanish and we are always shouting and you know, saying our comments or opinions about something or someone, and this is very, very useful if you're gonna be interacting in Spanish, okay? So pay attention. La clase de hoy es súper interesante y yo pienso también muy importante para interactuar con otras personas en español. Como sabes, en español solemos ser muy abiertos a la hora de expresar nuestra opinión y utilizamos mucho estas exclamaciones, no solamente para hablar de opiniones, sino también para halagar a otra persona, para decir algo bonito a otra persona. Y también para animar. So one thing to keep in mind about this exclamation that we're going to be learning today is that we don't just use these words to express our opinions, but also to flatter other people, to say something nice about someone else, and also to cheer them on. La primera expresión es bravo. Repite, por favor. Bravo. 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 I love when English speakers say this word. It sounds so cute. Bravo. Marvelous. Bravo. Just love it. But now you know how to say it correctly. It's bravo, not bravo. If you happen to live under a rock and you never heard this expression before, bravo means amazing, how wonderful, okay? So if you find yourself enjoying a theater play or a musical or, you know, a singer, and you want to praise their performance, at the end of the show, you can stand up, clap as much as you can and shout, ¡bravo! ¡Woo! ¡Bravo! Es muy probable que ya conozcas la expresión bravo. La utilizamos muchísimo en español para halagar la actuación o la performance de artistas. Por ejemplo, si ves una obra de teatro o si asistes a un concierto, al final de la actuación o del concierto, si quieres expresar lo mucho que te ha gustado el espectáculo, entonces te pones de pie, comienzas a aplaudir y gritas con toda la fuerza de tus pulmones. ¡Bravo! ¡Woo! ¡Bravo! ¡Olé! I love this one. ¡Olé! ¡Olé! And you have to do this with your hand, I don't know why. Esta es una expresión típica de España. Se popularizó mucho con el flamenco, pero también se utiliza mucho en el fútbol y en ambientes informales de España. Es una forma de animar a otra persona. This one is an expression that we use particularly in Spain. It's a typical Spanish expression from Spain, and it started with flamenco, and then it became popular, and I think nowadays you also can hear it in soccer or football, in the football environment, and also in informal environments as well. So basically you use olé to cheer someone, okay? When someone is doing something amazing, you're gonna say olé. Enhorabuena. Repite, por favor. Please repeat. Enhorabuena. 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 Bien. Enhorabuena se utiliza principalmente en España, pero también en Argentina, por ejemplo, y básicamente significa como, ¡hey, finalmente, qué bueno, felicitaciones! This is an expression that, again, is mostly used in Spain, but we use it as well in Argentina. Basically, it's like saying like, hey, finally, how amazing, congratulations. That's what enhorabuena means. Cuando hablamos de exclamaciones en español, no podemos dejar de mencionar la estructura que más adjetivo. When we're talking about exclamations in Spanish, we can't miss or skip the expression que plus adjective. It's very simple. Es muy fácil de utilizar. Let's say, for example, you're at a friend's house and you want to say that the house is very pretty, right? So all you have to do is translate the word pretty in Spanish, right? Which in this context is going to be linda, casa linda. So the adjective is linda. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to say que plus that adjective. Que linda. Vamos con otros ejemplos. qué fea, qué triste, qué amable, qué tonta, qué gracioso, qué cómico, qué malo. Okay, so we most of the time use these ones with an adjective, but you can also use it with a noun, okay? Let's say you want to say, oh, what a man. I don't know when you will want to say like, yeah, bueno. Qué hombre. Qué casa. Qué carro. Qué auto. Okay guys, I hope that you really enjoyed this lesson as much as I enjoy doing this for you. Please let me know on the comments down below if you have any questions, and I would also love for you to take this as an opportunity to practice Spanish and to write your own sentence down below. Bien, muchísimas gracias y nos vemos en la próxima clase. Adiós. Bye, see you next time.
Hola, soy Brenda Romagnelo, tu profesora de español. Hoy vamos a hablar de mandatos en español. Vamos a hablar de qué tiempos verbales podemos usar en español para dar órdenes, básicamente. Today we're going to have a look at some commands in Spanish and what tenses we can use in Spanish to give orders, pretty much. Hoy vamos a ver tres tiempos verbales para hablar de mandatos y dar órdenes en español. Vamos a usar el presente, el presente simple, vamos a usar el modo imperativo y vamos a usar el condicional simple del indicativo. Entonces el presente y el condicional del indicativo, y vamos a ver el modo imperativo. There's three tenses that we can use in Spanish to talk about commands. And that is the present tense, the simple present in Spanish, the conditional, and also the imperative mood. Vamos a empezar con estos tres ejemplos y luego vamos a ver qué tiempo verbal usamos para cada uno y lo que significa. We're going to have a look at these examples to be able to compare and analyze them, and why and when would we use one or the other. Número 1. Hay que regar las plantas. The plants need to be watered. Número 2. Riega las plantas. Water the plants. Número 3. ¿Podrías regar las plantas? Could you water the plants? En el primer ejemplo estamos usando la estructura hay que está en el presente del indicativo, con el verbo haber, que es un verbo que usamos para hablar de existencia, pero que en este caso hay que significa hay una obligación y lo usamos de modo indirecto para dar una orden. In the first example, we use hay que, which is the structure, to talk about, to give an order in an indirect way. Okay, this must be done, meaning maybe you should go and do it. Are you gonna do it? Or, in English sometimes we say we need to water the plants. And whenever someone says that in English to me, I always go and say, we sounds like a lot of people, meaning I think you want me to go and water the plants, right? So, hay que is an indirect way to give orders in Spanish. En la número 2 vamos a usar el verbo en el modo imperativo. El modo imperativo es el modo de las órdenes y por supuesto es mucho más directo, es la forma más directa que tenemos para dar órdenes en español. In the second one, we are using the imperative mood, which is the mood in Spanish to give orders. So there's no question here, this is direct, it's a direct order. Y la número 3, podrías, en este caso, usando el condicional, también es una forma amable o indirecta de hacer un pedido, de hacer un mandato, de pedir una orden. And in the last example, we are using the conditional tense. And this one is an indirect way to ask or request or give an order, and at the same time is polite. So the best way I would say, if you don't know, especially the person that you're talking to, is to use the conditional tense to ask or for a command, or to ask for a request or a favor, or to give an order. But of course, if you know who you're talking to, you know your audience very well, you can use the imperative mood and it's not rude in that situation. Para el registro formal, sobre todo dando órdenes, vamos a usar la persona usted. Muy bien, usted es la persona, segunda persona del singular, y es de uso un registro formal. So whenever we want to give orders or commands in a formal way, we're going to use the personal pronoun usted, which is the second person and is the formal you, the formal register for you. Hay que completar el formulario. In this case, it could be used in a formal setting because there's no one performing the action here. It's an impersonal sentence, and we can use it in this case. Llene el formulario, por favor. And using the conditional, we're going to say, ¿podría llenar el formulario, por favor? Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I really want to see you next class. Nos vemos. Adiós.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.